Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
The more things change, the more they stay the same.
So what are you going to do?
Disappear.
He's entered the world code. No target code. Sir, that'll shut down the entire planet. Sir, that'll shut down the entire planet. Sir, that'll shut down the entire planet.
You can't handle the truth!
It must be killed. It bears the mark of the beast. Sorry, not that one. What do we do? What do we do?
Still better than a boy.
You can't handle the truth!
Christians, I love you, but if you come to me and tell me that you think the vaccine is the mark of the beast, and you think that getting a chip put in your hand so you can access your work computer is the mark of the beast, please don't. I don't even want to hear it. Like, I'm so beyond it. Unless this mark is associated with the worship of the beast, right, and his image, then the fact that you can't buy or sell without fill in the blank doesn't impress me that much.
You can't handle the truth!
By the way, the Antichrist will not be revealed until the rapture of the church. By the way, the Antichrist will not be revealed until the rapture of the church. By the way, the Antichrist will not be revealed until the rapture of the church. By the way, the Antichrist will not be revealed until the rapture of the church. Because we don't know. So the point is, it's pointless to try to identify Antichrist or even the mark that he will use. Let me summarize. The mark of the beast is future, not past or even present yet. The mark is a visible, literal brand of sorts. The mark will be given as a sign of devotion to Antichrist and as a passport to commerce. And here's the thing, you'll know it when you're getting it. There's even an angel that is going to fly through the heavens warning people to not take the mark. So no one's going to do it, again, by accident. So don't freak out if you go to Disneyland and they put a stamp on your right hand. It's okay, you have not taken the mark of the beast.
You can't handle the truth!
Is the COVID-19 vaccine the mark of the beast? Now, Pastor Greg Laurie at Harvest Christian Fellowship, he actually bluntly proclaimed recently that no, it is not. Now, the vaccine is controversial, and a lot of people refuse to take it, and that's fine. But Laurie noted that there is a clear reading of the Bible that notes, again, that the mark of the beast is a number, 666, and that people will be well aware, according to Scripture, of the fact that they are placing that number on their bodies. He noted that people taking the number, according to the Bible, would be, again, willingly pledging allegiance to the Antichrist. Now, we haven't talked much about the Antichrist, but he's part of this whole mix, which is clearly something that people taking a vaccine have not been doing, okay? So there are a lot of theological takes on the mark of the beast, and I won't get into all of them here, but regardless of that debate, one thing is clear. The COVID vaccine, according to the Bible, has nothing to do with the mark referenced in Revelation. You can feel free to debate the vaccine.
You can't handle the truth!
For there to be a mark of the beast and that false prophet for the beast, the second beast, right, need to be here. They need to be on the scene. And this is why I don't believe we've seen the mark of the beast yet, and why I don't believe these vaccines are the mark of the beast. Again, because the beast hasn't clearly showed up on the scene. Furthermore, taking the mark of the beast also means it's really an act of worshiping this beast, who we don't know who it is yet, right? In other words, I see taking the mark of the beast, it's essentially pledging allegiance to the beast, which would also mean a conscious act of denouncing allegiance to God. Ultimately, taking the mark of the beast would be denouncing Jesus as Lord of your life. And I don't believe, based on Scripture, that people are going to get tricked into taking the mark. Like, oh my goodness, I got a shot, now I've got the mark of the beast. I didn't know it, or I took this credit card or this payment scheme or whatever, and I've got the mark of the beast. I didn't realize that. Oh my goodness, how did this happen? I don't think that's going to happen that way. Rather, I believe people will know what they're doing. And this is why their decision to take that mark of the beast, to pledge allegiance to that beast, will have huge eternal consequences.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
The beast. Does it not say right there, brothers and sisters, in Revelation 19:20, that those that received the mark of the beast took it because of deception? Yes or no? Deception number 5, Revelation chapter 20, verse 3. And cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more. Are you hearing this? Deception number 6, Revelation chapter 20, verse 8. And shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the 4 quarters of the earth. And finally, number 7, which is the number of completion. In Revelation chapter 20, verse 10, the devil that deceiveth them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. So my question to you, brothers and sisters, going over the definition of deceive or deception, and then going through the book of Revelation on how many times Satan, that old serpent, the dragon, deceiveth the whole world and deceived those that took the mark of the beast. Are you still going to believe the lie of 98% of these so-called shepherds online? You mean to tell me that those that take the abomination do it because they're deceived, and the whole world is deceived by the dragon, but yet when it comes to the mark of the beast, there will be no deception at all? The devil will be an honest person and let the whole world know exactly what his plan is to get as many of them to go to the lake of fire. Do you truly believe? Do you truly believe that lines up with the track record of the dragon? Did he not deceive Adam and Eve from the very beginning of creation? In the book of Genesis, did he come out and just say, Eve, I want to trick you so that way you will die? I'm lying to you, Eve. Do what I tell you to do. Or did he deceive Eve and then use Eve as a temple to get to Adam? Remember, the Bible says God declared the end from the beginning. But brothers and sisters, these things have been already warned to you. Hundreds and hundreds of hours, documentary after documentary, for years now, warning, crying in the wilderness, praying that as many as possible will open up their eyes and wake up. My brothers and my sisters, I plead with your soul, in the mighty name of the Lord Jesus Christ of Nazareth, Yeshua the Messiah, wake up. Open up your eyes and look around you. We are running out of time. Brothers and sisters, do you not remember when I was pleading with you to not put your guard down? Months back, when the so-called mandates were going away and the face coverings were no longer needed, and false teachers online began to mock and slander. But I told you, this is a strategy of warfare called the Trojan horse. Did I not warn you? And did I not tell you that one of the characteristics of the Antichrist, according to Daniel chapter 7, is that he will wear out the saints of the Most High God? But that word in the Hebrew is bilah. It literally means to wear away, to wear out, to harass constantly. And it's interesting that the Strong's definition corresponding to H1086 is to be used in a mental sense, to afflict and wear out the saints mentally as well. Let me ask you a question. If something is worn away, isn't it through a season of time? Think of anything in life. Your shoes don't get worn out the day you leave the mall buying them. It's from walking for a period of time, they slowly begin to wear away. This is psychological warfare. And if you're not paying attention, the warning is coming to pass, because right now over in that Red Dragon Nation, there's supposedly another you-know-what. And they're already making plans to shut things down. You better get your house in order. You don't have as much time as you think, because remember one thing. Now the Antichrist has 70% of the world already under his subjection, that has already submitted to the brick and slime within, to the confusing of the language of their genetic makeup. Remember the warning in The World is a Stage Part 2. Level 1 was manipulation. Level 2 was intimidation. Manipulation. This was, we'll pay you to take the abomination. We'll give you a free donut. You want a free beer? We'll give you things to take the abomination. Level number 2 was intimidation. If you don't take the abomination, you're losing your job. If you don't take the abomination, you cannot fly. If you don't take this, you can't make money. Level 3 is coming, brothers and sisters. And level 3 is not just manipulation or intimidation, it's domination. And now their strategy, that by the grace of God I will be talking about in the next part of this series, will be their plan to make those that are faithful to Christ and refuse to receive the light of Lucifer, to make them look crazy. And this was the real agenda on why the beast has Kanye West on the floor playing in the chessboard of deception. Notice that Christians that are psychotic are the ones that make the headlines. Are you not following? Are you not paying attention to the laws that they want to pass? So that if somebody rejects the abomination, they can label them a danger to themselves. So yes, brothers and sisters, I am pleading with you once again to seek the Lord while he may be found. To get your house in order, to start to pray, to fast when you're led by God, to read your word and hide it in your heart that you may not sin against God. Be faithful to the Lord. Love your family. Love your brothers and sisters in Christ, because none of us are promised tomorrow. But I know one thing. We have served the Lord, and we have cried in the wilderness. We have warned you with tears. And however long the Lord allows us to remain here, just know one thing. There is hope for you. For you that has not turned your back on the Messiah. Seek him now. Call on his name now. It's time to repent. We need the Lord. We need to gather together. We need to cry out for a filling, for an outpouring of the mighty Holy Ghost, because without him, we won't make it. So you have been warned again that the warnings are coming to pass. And there's so many things that I need to talk to you about. But what can I do? We're already almost 2 hours in. Did you know in the very chapter of Daniel where it talks about the Antichrist wearing out the saints, it also says that the beast will seek to change times and laws? Ask yourself the question, do you think it is a coincidence that the word for deadly wound being healed is plague? Look at the authority that the Antichrist exercised behind the green screen curtain, where the entire world was shut down. This has never happened in human history, where the entire world shut down by the authority of the dragon. But did you know that in Revelation chapter 14 verse 9, when it says that the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and received his mark in his forehead or in his hand. I want you to look at the word worship. I want you to look at worship in the Greek with me. I want to remind you that that word there, proskuneo, it also means figuratively of G2965, meaning to kiss, like a dog licking his master's hand. You know, somebody desperate, following orders. To fawn or crouch, to literally or figuratively prostrate oneself in homage. That means that it can be a literal bowing down or figuratively Do you know what that word means? To worship figuratively means to bow down in submission to the laws of the beast. It's that word image, you know, the thing they worship. That word there is icon. But look what it means though. It's an image, a figure, and a likeness. We'll have to get into that on the next part of this series. The world is a stage. But the one thing I will
You don't like knowing, do you?
Not your brand of it, no.
Perhaps you don't believe me.
I believe you. But the thing of it is, you see only the bad, none of the good.
By and large, Constable, the good's an illusion. Little fables folks tell themselves so they can get through their days without screaming too much.
I don't believe that.
I know. A good boy to the last. And I think you'll find yourself on the short end this time. Your town is full of adulterers, pedophiles, thieves, gluttons, murderers, bullies, scoundrels, and covetous morons. And I know every last one of them. Born in lust, turn to dust. Born in sin, come on in.
The world is a stage. The whole world is a stage.
And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. For Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
The world is a stage. Do you realize that they're telling lies? Open up your eyes. The world is a stage. What will it take for me to get you to believe? Or will you be deceived? The whole world is a stage. We're in the end of days. You think it's getting strange. Wait till we turn the page. The world is a stage.
I COVID.
Hello. I COVID. I COVID.
Ready? Deal. Yes, deal. Ready?
The world is a stage.
It's right in your face.
The whole world is a stage. The world is a stage. Will you realize that they're telling lies? Open up your eyes. The world is a stage. What will it take for me to get you to believe? Or will you be deceived? The whole world is a stage. We're in the end of days. You think it's getting strange. Wait till we turn the page. The world is a stage.
In 1335 days is one of the most thought about figures in the Bible. Today, as much as I know I'm going to be hated, I'm going to show you what this is and what it cannot be. And I always say that if we want to know the answer, we got to play by the rules. I too had to come out of false doctrine, just like everybody else, and still have a ways to go. We got to keep changing our perspective over and over and over till the fullness of the truth comes out. So at the beginning of this, I put like a 10, 11-minute segment from Revelations. I call him Revelations Guy. You could find Revelations of Jesus Christ, he calls himself. He's on Rumble, his own website, and YouTube. He has to split them up because he's censored in different ways from different platforms. So that's, with the algorithms, he has to do that. I wanted to illustrate a point because I agree with what he agrees with. If we don't understand that the mark of the beast has been here and is here, we're not going to understand 1290 and 1335 days. I'm going to show you what this has to be if we play by the rules. So we can't play a football game with basketball rules. We have to play football with football rules. And all these years, I, like you, have been trying to figure out what this means. That something has to happen on the 1290th and 1335th day, or else it can't be. That's not playing by the rules. Within this, if we can see it from Daniel's point of view, and he was confused in this chapter, get into that in a little bit, if we can put ourselves into his shoes, into his mindset, just for a little bit, long enough to understand why he wrote the way he wrote, why it came out the way it came out, it starts to make sense. So I want to say this. We're going to get right into it. And I'm going to try to illustrate what this means and where we're going. Okay. First things first. We got to take in the whole scenario. There's Daniel's chapters 9, 10, 11. Has all these things happening. A whole bunch of stuff. King of the North did this, King of the South did this, and we're like, what is all this? And then he seems to say the same thing here, but it's really not. In the midst of the week, the daily's taken away, and blah, 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 and then there's Daniel's 70 weeks. All right? And with that in mind, those 70 weeks had already started way back. But there's all the rest of the stuff in the last days that he's talking about. He was just writing on all these things. And Daniel chapter 11, the third of those, he goes right into Daniel 12:1. Michael shall stand up and there's tribulation. Okay, we get all that. We can't forget about that as part of the scenario. But where does the 1290 and 1335 days fit in becomes the question. Why I made a little bit of theatrics, put some video clips at the beginning, maybe a little entertaining for you, I don't know, but gets you in the mindset of what I want to show you today. And let's just read the verse. I'm just going to read it. You read it already, let's read it again. With the mindset, though, that we have to play by the rules. And almost none of us have done so. From the time the daily, now it says sacrifice. Now I need you to focus. That's italicized. Sacrifice was added. It's confused us all. There's only one time in Daniel where he says sacrifice, that it's actually, the word sacrifice does apply. You could delete sacrifice because it doesn't belong here. And from the time the daily is taken away and the abomination is set up, there should be 1,290 days. Now we have all been through this a million times. You know, it's just like, right here it is actually. This is what we have used over and over, and so have I, to the point the smoke's coming out of it, and we're adding up, and these calculators are burning up. We're going, I need a new calculator. This one's worn out, and we're just going through it over and over and over. What's it going to be? Wait a second. And we add this, and then we're looking at prophetic events or world events or whatever, and we're going like, we don't know! And we're screaming. We've got to figure this out. If we add up this cycle, we start from this, we start from that, and no matter what we do, we cannot find anywhere these two numbers matching up with anything. Why? I'm going to show you today. I read you the verse. He does not say anything, not one word, about what happens on the 1290th or 1335 day. He does not mention one thing. But if we play by the rules, he does tell us a beginning. If we're playing by the rules, there's two conditions. The daily is taken away, leading to the abomination of desolation, the mark of the beast. If we play by the rules, hold on now. You're about to find out what this is. For real this time. Nothing is described as being at the end day so that we can prove our point. He doesn't mention that at all. Well, what's going on? Why mention these two numbers at all? After all these years, I couldn't figure it out. Now I know. Two things I want to show you. Let's read this, and hopefully get back to this. Just the verse before. Notice this. Many shall be purified, made white and refined. The wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand. Did you see that? But the wise shall understand. Understand what? From the time the daily is taken away verse. I want you to focus on that. The wise shall understand. The wise shall understand. None of the wicked shall understand. I think that sounds a little bit familiar, don't you? Does this have anything to do with the mark of the beast? Does it not say in Revelation, here is he who has wisdom would find it out as well? Hello! Here is he who has wisdom. I'm not going to pull it up. You know it. If you have wisdom, he says, count the number of the beast. Daniel says the wise shall understand. The wicked won't. Well, hold on a second. Now, let's figure this out here. All right. Buddhists, Confucianists, Muslims, Hindu, whatever religion, they don't care about what this is. They're of a different religion anyway. They're numbered among the wicked, yes. They don't care. It's automatic for them. And they're not trying to understand it. They're not trying to understand Daniel here, because they don't even care about this book to begin with. So which group of the wicked is not going to understand primarily here? Those of the Christian arena. None of the wicked Christians are going to understand, but the wise out of those who are trying to understand is going to get it. But this is impossible to understand until people realize the jibs is the mark. And it takes a whole bunch of other prophets aligned with this to see the whole picture. We're really focused on Daniel today and what these days mean. The wise, as they realize it is the mark, they get it. Now, there's still true believers out there. Probably most of them still don't understand the mark yet. Doesn't mean they're damned. It just means they haven't caught up to you and I just as of yet. But they will become wise in this arena, and they're going to get it. But only the wise of the last days is going to come in to the truth of this. That's what I want you to see. Because he's talking about his prophecies, and only the wise is going to get it. And we have a long way to go, brothers and sisters. Long way to go! Woo! Yeah! Ooh, yeah! But we're getting it. But the wicked of the Christian arena that will not receive a love for the truth cannot understand it. They're trying to say 1290 and 1335 is this and this. I did too. I was just as confused as the next guy. And have to repent just the same as you. But you weren't damned the whole time. You were still in your journey on your way out. Because, hold on. Let's go back a little bit, just a little bit. Many shall be purified, made white, and refined. I have been saying it all this time. We have to keep changing our perspectives till the fullness of the truth comes out during the time of all this. We're being more and more refined, purified, and made white. Yes or no? As the truth, the big ones especially, are coming out in these last days, you're going to find out about these 1290, 1335 days. You're going to have no choice. You're going to hit a block wall and you can't go through it. Because the truth stands alone. It does not care what we think about it. It doesn't care if we got hurt feelings, sorrow, any of it. Because the truth isn't going to budge. You can run. You can have a bulldozer and try to get through it. And the truth is still going to be standing there like Superman. With his cape flowing. Yeah, right. You want to know the truth? You're going to find out today. If we're playing football by football rules, and basketball by basketball rules, baseball by baseball rules. So it gets a bit confusing. I have been years trying to figure this out. Because Daniel more than once talks about a daily taken away. So I tried to, like most others, tried to combine all these together and somehow make it fit. And it never did. It never did. It never worked. Till I meditated and realized this verse stands alone by itself. Don't worry about the other times. Don't worry about that. We're talking about the daily and the abomination of desolation, the mark of the beast. This verse stands by itself. It'll be made pure, made white, come into more and more truth, refined. Another version, changed from glory to glory. Getting better and better, stronger and stronger into truth. More and more, the more you're willing. But there's the converse, the opposite of this. Paul says you would not receive a love for the truth. But what does he say? Once again, playing by the rules. I tried to figure this out for years, and now I'm convinced. Because that whole chapter in Thessalonians is the mark of the beast sitting in the temple as Yahweh. I'll send a strong delusion that they might be damned, but that they would believe a lie. One lie. A lie. I don't see a book full of lies. A whole bunch of lies. One lie. What lie might that be that Paul's talking about? Well, the whole stinking chapter's about the mark of the beast. That lie. That they'll believe a lie. The lie. Other verses say the lie. It's the same thing. One lie is your new savior, your vodka, the golden calf, the red heifer, cow, vaccines. That lie, the false Messiah that would save the whole world that's supposed to die. The false Messiah that sits in the temple. So I was right in my last video. They wanted their red heifer. Well, they got a cow. They got a sacrifice cow, all right, put right into them. The Antichrist spirit that sits in the temple and their false doctrines, because they wouldn't receive a love for the real truth. Well, they got the vaccine Christ in them. Yes or no? And the false temple was built. The Tower of Babel was rebuilt. Instead of it being built up in Genesis, it came down through the DNA. The same staircase that Jacob was seeing is a strand of DNA. The right DNA is right-handed. Yes or no? The father's name changed to a different name, corrupted. The book of their life, corrupted, which has everything to do with these two numbers. This is what literally took place. But the wise shall understand it and come into it. We have to swallow our tongues a few thousand times and get rid of the old doctrine. I like to call it that title now because that's what it is, the old doctrine. Here I was trying to figure this thing out. If I just, that sounds like the beginning of 1290, and this, and this, and this, and then they're adding up. The 1290th day has got to be something happening here, and oh, no way! It never matched. 1335, nothing matched. So the second thing I wanted to mention, or bring up, I want to bring up a 10-second analogy. All right. Let's say all of us, we're in a boardroom meeting. This is over a plant being built so we can start producing a product. And you ask me, hey, Kenneth, when's the plant going to be done? That way we know the exact day, you know, that we're going to start producing whatever product we have in mind. And you know, I get up there in front of you. So, well, I'll tell you what. It's going to be approximately 1,290 to 1,335 days, give or take. There's your answer. Now hold on. Hold on. You'll see exactly where I'm going with this. The wise will get more and more puzzle pieces. I have a very special friend, and she's right. Every one of us has a puzzle piece, the other does not. Lest any one of us should boast. She's right on the money. Say it so much because of what she said. It is true. You've got something I don't, I got something you don't. On and on. We each contribute. There is no great teachers, there's no great answers. We're slowly being refined and made white and purified and all of that. We're in the preemptive stages of our final training. Hence in Revelation, these, the overcomers, he says, overcame the mark of the beast. We already overcame it. So it's an approximate time here. And you'll see why as I bring this out. This is not definitive as we wanted to think, that something big has to happen on the 1290th day. That's what I was thinking. Always trying to figure something out. And nothing's ever panned out, because nothing ever will. But we're going to play by the rules. You see, the same thing has been happening over and over. Don't click off. Don't do that. Don't be that way. Going back to the April 8th total solar eclipse. Now, where are those teachers today? Nowhere. Not even talking about it. Nothing happened. Yes, it did. The eclipse happened. A road marker. Another sign to tell us here it comes. Here comes the March 14th total lunar eclipse. World didn't blow up. September 7th, one total lunar eclipse over Jerusalem, over North Africa and all that. It's not going to blow up. But it is the event itself. The eclipse is the event. Now, what are the odds? U.S. and Israel, like this. Two evil empires, if you want to call it that. What are the odds that the U.S. Babylon gets 100% all the way across the country, blood eclipse, September 7th this year, counterfeit Israel with their Jerusalem gets it in the same year? What are the odds? What are the odds? So with that in mind, we got to put ourselves in this line of thinking here and come out of the old. We got to come out of the old, because that is what trashes and kept us so confused of what these days are talking about. We got to go by the rules, or we're going to be cast out of the game, going to be benched as the wicked that will not understand. And most are benched and took the abomination because they didn't realize it was here. Even I didn't know it was the mark 2 years after it started. I didn't take the jib because I never trusted the government. Well, I put a part of that video clip up there where he went over, and I agree with him, been over this many times, about worship the image of the beast, or worship the beast. The dog kissing his master's hand, it's a form of worship. It's not always, ooh, Baal, Baal, Baal. That's not every instance of worship. It's following the beast system, wandering after the beast. In other words, following after the beast. But you're going to see in just a bit how all this comes together. How it all comes together. And it does. Daniel here was even confused about what he was about to write. And he didn't say nothing more about those 2 dates other than the beginning of it, not necessarily the end. We've been looking for something cataclysmic like the April 8th when nothing happened to happen. It's not how it works. These are basic timelines. And it does match up with what we just went through. There's no other way. If we play by the rules of the game, and we do it correctly, we're going to get the correct answer, and it is the only answer I can find. And I think I've been told some others have brought this up too. I don't know who they are, but they would be right. They would be right. This goes deep. So let's put ourselves into Daniel's shoes, try to put ourselves somewhat into his mentality, and listen to something that he says. Verse 9, 2 verses before this. No, verse 8. Excuse me, I got that backwards. Verse 8. Now, Daniel, remember chapters 9 through 11, all this stuff. We can't forget that. We can't forget that. All this stuff in chapters 9 through 11 he's talking about. But then he asks, although I heard, I did not understand. Then I said, my Elohim, what shall be the end of these things? Things. What should be the end of these things? Plural. End of what things? Chapters 9 through 11. So does that mean at the 1290th and 1335th day all these things were finished and completed? As I thought that it would start around the Great Tribulation and then at the end 1335 days. No, that's not what he means. Put ourselves into his mentality. What should be the end of all these things I've been going over and seeing? Chapters 9 through 11. Sounds more like it. Keeping in mind the 70 weeks started way back then, all the way up until the end, but through that at the very end is all this kingdom of north, south, and all this stuff. Each thing to their own. But what should be the end of these things? What was he actually saying? The way it's worded, it sounds like 1335 days is when it's all finished up. No. No. That's not what it is. It's the other way around. Instead, go your way till the end, for you rest, and will rise to your inheritance at the end of days. Go your way till the end. At the end. The words are closed up and sealed to the time of the end. It's the whole end time scenario. So the 1290 and 1335 is not when the king comes back and it's all done. No. This is even before Great Tribulation. It's the other way around. What is being said here is the finishing up of all these things moving in motion begins with 1290. But even after 1335, we're not even in tribulation yet. In other words, what I'm trying to illustrate to you is we're going to know, and it's all kicked off by the 1290 days. That's when all these end time things and years are being finished up. It's the big sign that it has started, but not ended. These things will be finished from the time the daily is taken. Not daily sacrifice. That word doesn't belong there. What is the daily? Daily life. Normal. What he's telling us is two different things. The daily, right here, daily is taken away, and the abomination is set up. Like a, when's the factory going to be done? Hold on. We'll get into that set up in just a little bit. You'll understand more of what that actually means. This is some idol in a third temple. It's an antichrist spirit in the temples of people. But what does it mean by set up? We're not worried about that right now. From the time that the daily is taken away is when these things, the rest of the years, the rest of Daniel's prophecies is in motion, fully in motion then. The daily taken away is when daily life was disrupted with the COVID counterfeit pandemic. I showed you that video clip at the beginning for that reason, to show you that at no time in human history has the entire world been shut down and taken away. The daily life changed to the most extent, taken away, not sacrificed. The daily routine of life was taken away. That is the only thing anywhere on any level I can ever find that even remotely comes close to this. And you lived right through it as I did. The daily was taken away. That has never happened anywhere in world history I can even think of or find, except from 2020. That's right. That is the only thing that matches, and the reason why it matches is because that's the answer. Playing by the rules. And the abomination of desolation is set up. The abomination of desolation is the mark. Abomination means a detestable thing, an idol, like the Vaka cow. That's an idol. Their counterfeit Messiah through the jibs. The abomination, where he leaves out of the temple because they're no longer his property. Their DNA has been changed, as it was in Noah's day. Replay of Noah, as it was in the days of Noah. That's the king talking there. The abomination of desolation. So the daily is taken, the lockdowns, that's what that is, the lockdowns, where they couldn't buy or sell as they would normally. Things were messed up, each place to their own, and whatever, condition to their own. It's not like the wise understands, but the wicked could never understand it. What, you just can't buy or sell at all. That's not what he's saying. That they might be able to buy or sell. In other words, that they might be able to get the daily life back to normal by ending COVID. That's basically what is being said. And it is. To get things back to normal, that we might be able to end the daily lockdowns so we don't all die. We take our counterfeit Messiah, authored by Fauci, Gates, the WHO, CDC, and whoever and whatever, that we might get it back to normal. Not that you just can't buy or sell, because I didn't take it, but I was able to buy and sell. That's not what he's talking about. He's talking about the system, ending the mask, the social distancing, no jabs, no jobs, no passports, no sports games, going to the bar, theaters, and you name it, to get the daily routine of buying and selling back to normal. And to end the pandemic that's going to kill everybody. The abomination came along with the daily. 9 months after came the jibs, after they declared the worldwide pandemic. Yes or no? Yes or no? So what does all this mean? The daily lockdowns The daily life was taken away and the lockdowns came. And in quick progression came the beginning of the abomination shots. Both hand in hand playing by the rules. But what does he mean here? And the abomination of desolation is set up. What might that mean? It's kind of miswording, hard to understand. What does it mean by being set up? Well, playing by the rules, the daily taken away instantly led to the jib desolation shots being set up. But listen to the rest of the verse. From the time that the daily lockdowns is started and taken away, and the abomination of desolation is set up, there should be 1,290 days. So in other words, from the time that these two things have been done, there will be 1,290 days. Is set up. Take the words set up and replace it with the words has run its full course. And you got it. From the time the lockdowns officially started till the time that the abomination shots had taken their basic full course and dwindled out and phased away, the narrative was lost, there would be 1,290 days for this abomination, starting with the daily lockdowns, to have run its full course and basically run out of steam. Do you see it now? Blessed is he that waits and comes to the 1,335 days. Well, what's that? Just 45 days later. Well, the plant will be finished out of 1,290 to 1,335 days. These are basic general time frames. But from the Father in heaven's point of view, because Daniel had to write it this way, from what his point of view is, that's basically when the full steam was out. From his point of view, nothing blew up on 1335 day. It didn't happen. It's a basic time frame. That's all. So what do we need to make of this? Well, he says from the time the daily's taken away. Now it's documented, and everyone agrees that's what's documented. The World Health Organization, that is a part of the beast system, by the way, yes, funded and powered by the beast system. They declared March 11th, 2020, the first day of the lockdowns. Nobody's going to disagree with that. Is that the way the Father in heaven sees it? More than likely, because he says from the time. Okay, so far. Okay. So we grab this old thing. 1,290 days. Ended on September 22nd, 2023. Well, nothing happened on that day. It wasn't supposed to. It was just a mark in time. But wait a second, Kenneth. Wait a minute, Kenneth. You're wrong again, Kenneth. Because the WHO, the CDC, and all these junkards declared the end of the pandemic on, was it March or May 5th or 6th? I think it was May 6th of 2023. So Kenneth, you're wrong, Kenneth. You're wrong. You're a few months off. You're wrong, Kenneth. I'm right. That's when they declared the official end of the pandemic. So what does that have to do with September 22nd? Obviously, this is a date Father has in mind. Because guess what? Businesses and hospitals and everything around the world, just because they declared the end of the pandemic in May of 2023, didn't mean all of a sudden, attention! And all of a sudden it stopped within 24 hours! No, it did not! That's only when they declared the end of the pandemic, because they lost the narrative and no one else was going to take it by that point. I at least give credit to Alex Jones over that, or fighting over the shots that he's telling people, and all people across the internet, because they lost the narrative, but they got the damage done. Now hold on. They got the damage done, but they lost the narrative, so finally they knew that phase was over. Satan got the damage done. Now he's got to finish the rest. Now hold on. So from the Father's point of view, looking down on that September 22nd date, it was because of the stubborn holdouts. There were still people, and you remember, if you remember the news stories and what was going on, because I do, it took the stubborn ones, the more stubborn ones, it took time to phase out because they knew they had lost. Then the masks started to go away. They started to take the stickers off the store floor 6 feet apart. No jabs, no jobs. It took a phase out period from his point of view, because he could see everything going on around the world from 8.2 billion people. 1,335 days had come, which ended on November 6th of 2023. From his point of view. And nothing blew up either day, because it didn't have to. This was the phase of the daily taken away, the lockdowns that started the abomination that the other prophets are telling you about would take place. And it was set up and ran out of steam and ran its full course till they didn't have enough ammunition to keep going, because all those who was going to take it took it, and the rest, the holdouts, are the ones who are left remaining. Do you see it now? Blessed is he that waiteth and come through the ending phases of it, when it was running in full steam, that comes to 1,335 days that didn't take it, because they're still able to be saved. So where does that leave us, people? Where does that leave us, brothers and sisters? Now what do we do with it? They lost that narrative. They got that part of the job done and got most of the world under the image and the mark of the beast. And they were deceived in it. Those who say you can't be deceived, that's not what Revelation 18:23 says. By the sorceries, pharmakia, pharmacy, were all nations deceived. When he says all nations were deceived, Daniel says the daily, the worldwide lockdown took place. All nations, Revelation 13, they were deceived for those who received the mark. Not word for word, but it says that. It says they were deceived, which means they did not know, because the wicked will not understand, but the wise will. Those who wouldn't receive a love for the truth might be damned to believe a lie called the jibs, the false messiah, faith in the vaccine gospel. Yes. So now that they lost the narrative, now they moved right on into the rest of Daniel's prophecies been kicking off, along with the other prophets as well, that these other things of the last days, because that phase, the mark of the beast phase, it come and gone. Not that fresh people ain't taking it even today, pray not, but I would expect it. Trying to block as many that could hear this message to not take it if they haven't taken it yet. But then they got to move into the next phase called the World War III phase. That's right. Just 15 days after the 1290 days was over, they instantly shifted the world events into formulating the next phase of their plan. Now it's time for annihilation, the World War III stage. 15 days later, Hamas, which means violence, attacks Israel and starts off the new game of chess leading to World War III. And don't tell me, oh, that's been a couple of years ago, Kenneth. It takes a little time to get these things done, and they've been moving fast. 2 years' time for us, it seems like a long time, but on a prophetical time scale, it really is a blink in time, if you think about it from his point of view. They attacked Hamas, and exactly 7 days after Hamas, and they were attacked on their counterfeit Day of Atonement. Yes or no? And exactly 7 days after Hamas attacks Israel came, within this 1290 and this 1335. Within the 1290 and 1335 day, 45 day window, Hamas attacks leading to the World War III stage. Right in the center of it comes the second of 3 eclipses. October 14, 2023, which was the first day of the Feast of Tabernacles, the Ring of Fire eclipse over Babylon. The betrothal ring. Blessed are those who made it to the 1335 days, in which November 6th, nothing blew up. But not from his point of view. It was a time frame. The second of 3 eclipses, which means Aleph Tav, beginning and an end. Beginning and an end. What does the number 19 mean? Beginning and an end. The 19 began. What should be the end of these things? What shall be the end of these things? Well, 19 means the beginning and the end. 19 was the beginning of the end of ends. Now that 19 is phased out, now it's the end of these things after these 2 dates have passed and it started kicking into gear on the world scene. In which the Ring of Fire eclipse, which happened directly over, I was 100% in it. It wasn't a total. I actually looked at the sun with no glasses. I had to see this thing. It was great. That was the second of 3 eclipses. Then came to April 8th. Nothing blew up. 3 days later, True Promise 1 happened. The Devil's Comet on April 8th is going around the sun. Yes or no? I went over that. All these signs and events. And in this same year of 2023, the comet, which was originally named after Napoleon, was changed to the name Devil's Comet because it blew what seems to be 2 horns. The shorter one first and the longer one second. July 20th of 2023, Sure enough, the first one blew up. And it formed a second horn on October 5th, 2023, 2 days before Hamas, backed by Iran, attacked. The Devil's Comet. Then came Promise 2 and Promise 3. Russia and Ukraine building up for war. War. Has that not been going on? Yes or no? So these 2 dates was a precipitation of the end of these things, the rest of his prophecies kicking into gear. The mark phase came first, the abomination first. Because it doesn't make much sense for nuclear bombs to be hitting and great earthquakes like we have never seen, and all hell breaking loose, and then somewhere, somehow, the mark of the beast is taking place, and buying and selling. When Ezekiel chapter 7 says, the seller won't return to that which is sold because there's no supply chain. It's blowing up. There's nothing to buy anyway. Your silver and gold won't deliver you in that day. If it's not delivering, that means an economy must be in trouble. So how can we cram, you can't buy or sell into nothing is able to be bought. Everything's crashing. It's not normal. I've always been trying to figure that out. 2 plus 2 does not equal 5 then. That's what's going on. These dates are true. We passed this phase. Now that these 2 dates have passed, and they have, now it's the World War III is the number one thing. You don't even really hardly hear about COVID at all anymore, right? COVID, spelled backwards, is divorce. A falling away shall occur. Falling away means divorce, divorcement. Divorce 19 took place. And that's the abomination of desolation. The divorce of desolation started by the lockdowns. Strong delusion that they might be damned. He sits in the temple as Yahweh, changing his name to what they changed, the third strand. They put the third strand of DNA. Change it from 10.5.6.5 to 10.6.6.5. But the wicked still not understand, but the wise believes, because they believe that this 1,000 coincidences all at the same time. How many coincidences does it take before it becomes fact? How many? It's fact. The phase took place. But I guess this is in the past now. It is. It's not yet to come. These 2 dates of 1290 and 1335 have passed. So now, what should be the end of these things? They kicked into gear the rest of these things taking place, because that was the big thing that took place before the rest goes down, is what he's asking. Putting ourselves into his shoes. Do you see it now? And when he says, although I heard, I did not understand. It was confusing. But many should be made white and purified and not take the abomination. And oh, how so many are still in denial. The wicked will not understand, but the wise will understand it. And there's not many of us. But there's many that didn't take it that can still be saved. That's the ultimate objective. But it's leading to the kingdom. But as I've been saying, prophecy is not happening exactly the way we all thought. We got to keep changing our perspective. Because guess what? The words are closed up and sealed to the time of the end. No wonder we couldn't understand it, because it had to be the time of the end to understand it. I couldn't understand 1290 and 1335 days. And whoa, this thing just didn't work for me until it was the time of the end. Now we can understand. It was closed up. So what does that say about the rest of chapters 9 through 11? Now that the 1335 is over, anytime now the rest of these King of the North did this, South did this, whatever all that means, we're going to start seeing that because it's going to open up day by day as well. We're learning it as it's happening. Do you see it now? We wasn't supposed to get it 20 years ago because the abomination wasn't here yet. We had to wait for the lockdowns, the daily taken away, and the abomination, the jibs, to take place. And the wise will grab a hold and understand and stop this. No, it's not this. It's a tattoo. It's a grain of rice and all this crap. Never have I seen so many new videos these last few months over the mark's about to come. You bunch of dumbasses! You won't understand it. Because you're not wise, that's for sure. No wonder you won't get it. You won't receive a love for the truth because you're living inside of old church doctrine. Get rid of it! Wake up! This is for real! I'll ask you one more time. For all the people, not you, you know how, blah, 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 blah. How many coincidences does it take before it becomes truth?